Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to a scene in Sip of the Howling Winds, A World with the Apocalypse 20 edition set in San Diego, California. Today we are doing a social. Darcy's over here with Aziza, his new pack member, and showing her how to fire a gun. He is going through the steps and letting her trying to fire it right now. He is careful right beside her, making sure she doesn't like kill somebody.
You cut out on my end. All I heard was right beside her, making sure she doesn't kill anybody.
Did I cut out on your end too?
Yep.
Dang it! Uh, okay. Well, basically, what happened is Darcy is showing Aziza how to fire a gun. He's going through the steps, basically telling her to aim with both eyes. Don't close one. Like, no.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna roll for this.
You're gonna roll. Okay. Uh, he's right there helping her, so I'd say like since Darcy is like right beside her, like showing her, even probably like he might even be helping her. Like I would say at a -1 def too. So he's right there and helping her fire.
Just give me a minute. I'm pulling everything up. So that would be Dex, right?
Yes, Dex firearms.
I have no dots in firearms, so it's just Dex.
Want to burn a point of willpower so you don't.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna burn a point of willpower just to be safe, because I don't want to accidentally kill Zhongli as he walks in.
Oh, you won't kill Zhongli. It'll give him a little bit of fortitude.
Which dice rolling chat should I use?
Just go ahead and use dice rolling scene 1.
Okay. And burning a willpower makes one an automatic success, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, shit!
Let's see.
I got an 8, a 6, and a 5.
I said -1 diff, so it was diff 6 because.
Okay, so 2 successes. That's not bad.
Well, it's you said you burnt a point of willpower too, right?
Yeah, now I got an 8, a 6, and a 5. So with the burnt willpower, that'd be 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You actually did pretty good. It's like, good job.
Are your hands supposed to be numb and tingly?
It's kind of like that the first time.
This went better than trying to shoot my mom's rifle. That resulted in my brother losing his pinky toe.
Yeah. We'll just make sure that nobody's around every time you fire a gun for right now. He just smiles sweetly.
If I keep doing this well, maybe I'll be ready for moving targets soon.
Wanna try practicing on me? He grins.
If you think I won't hurt you, sure.
Oh, I can rage heal. It'll be fine.
But what if I ruin your pretty face? Benny would kill me.
Well, then just get that image in your mind and be very afraid.
And it would immediately have you promoted to being alpha of the pack.
She looks over. Oh, hello, Mr. Chongli. We're using Darcy as a moving target today.
Sounds great to me.
I mean, you say today. I used to do this all the time with Zhongli. He shrugs.
All right. Well, I guess start moving your pretty little round ass. I really need to stop getting tips from my father on how to speak.
He blinks and he's like, "Please stop looking at my ass."
Would you like to try on something that he'd have a little bit harder time avoiding, even with your skill?
She looks at Zhongli. No, maybe. I don't want to hurt him. I like him. I don't want to hurt you either, Mr. Lee, because I'm scared you might rip like my arms off.
He just laughs.
Well, that's not something you really have to worry about, I don't think. So,
So,
I'm taking that as a no.
Let's try it one round on the original way, and if I do all right, we'll try it your way.
Sure.
Darcy smiles, and so what he does is he just starts pacing back and forth, letting her aim. By the way, I don't know exactly how it is with rolling like skills you don't know, so I just went ahead and said +1.
Skills you don't know are +1 difficulty for skills, and you can't even attempt the roll at all with a knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, it'll be diff 7 this time.
So 2 successes.
2 successes to hit him?
Yeah.
Nice.
By the end of this scene, she'll have a dot of firearms.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and say you hit him.
You can choose where.
2 successes, and he's walking like back and forth, side to side. I'm gonna say you hit him in the arm.
Okay.
It hits. He winces for a second, and he's like, and he gives her a thumbs up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to clean it and wrap it?
You forget I'm a guru, and he shifts to Glabro.
It would take more rounds of ammunition than that to put him down.
Mama always said it took a shot of silver.
Yes. Or maybe 30. He says pulling out an Uzi.
Oh my god. I thought we weren't doing this kind of training anymore, Johnny.
I'm not training. I'm not here to train with you.
Oh, okay, so you're here to kill me this time. Got it.
Run, Darcy!
There are 2 problems with that statement. One, he's not a child of Al. Children of Al would be able to easily escape this bullet. The second problem is his assumption that I would shoot him with it at this range.
He grins.
No, I would take a few more steps closer to him if I was going to fire.
That increases the probability of success. He grins.
Oh god. Her nature's kicking in. She has slowly turned the pistol to aim at Zhongli. Goddamn caregiver.
He looks over at Azaza and he's like, well, if you're aiming at somebody with that intent, then fire. He looks over at Zhongli like,
Darcy is not helping the situation.
because I know he knows Zhongli would so say the same thing.
I'm gonna one day come out of my house and these two are just like scrapping in the middle of the yard with nothing but jeans and knives.
I mean, he did stab him in his lung before. Like, that was a thing.
You are not helping me channel the nature of this character. Could we please put the Uzi away, Mr. Zhongli?
Darcy looks at both.
Aziza, you are a half moon.
Yes.
You are currently pointing a firearm at me with the intent to kill.
Not kill. Yet.
Kill, because there's no way you would maim me with that. You would
Yeah.
kill me.
Darcy is rubbing his brows.
I would commend you if it wasn't for the fact that you're aiming it at me with the intent to kill without realizing you have the intent to kill.
I have no reason to kill you yet.
But if you fire that round off, you will kill me. You're not skilled or well trained enough to hit a non-vital area. Most likely you're going to hit somewhere. He takes his Uzi and just runs it over his chest in a circle. Somewhere here. We refer to that as center mass.
She cringes as he talks.
So, you fire that round. You kill me. Now, that creates an interesting scenario. I believe that would make it your first kill of a guru in a non-time of war. Your first execution as a half moon, if I am not mistaken.
She's moved her finger from stationed right above the trigger to just towards the safety.
After which, you're going to have to deal with a couple of problems. I'm ignoring the guru law and all those things. I'm sure that Darcy would help you bury the body and then lie for you to the elders about what happened. After all, you're members of the same pack. And nowhere in our ban does it say that we have to tell the truth to anyone. Utilizing his charming personality, he could even likely deflect all inquiries into the matter so that he didn't have to lie. He would just disarm them. He says, taking a step closer to her. So the real consequences would be on your psyche. You were put into a paradoxical situation, kill one life to save another, but you would never be sure that you were actually saving a life, and you would also be regretting it because you thought that you would be able to successfully wound me. He takes another step closer to her. So the end result of all this would be that you would give yourself a disorder. You would have wasted a bullet. And even if I thought for a moment that you could successfully hit me at this range, I would then have to move to disarm you. As there's only two methods I have been taught for disarm, both of them involve removing your arm or the hand. I believe that that is not something you would desire. So what you would attempt to do at that point is to avoid me until you're hoping that Darcy would come to your aid. But Darcy would likely not come forward because he would assume correctly, that I would not be out to kill you, and that if he did make such a move, I would take that as interrupting a just challenge and would be questioning him with 9mm rounds.
Darcy's just kind of looking between them. He's quiet.
So, what you're going to have to ask yourself.
I will put my pistol away for now if you put your big gun away. She's already lowered the pistol, by the way, but it's still in her hand.
I think you're picking the wrong weapon to put away.
Yeah, Darcy like taps his lip and just kind of smiles softly.
This is a gun.
And I would rather fear something I know nothing about than the demon I know.
Well then, what you should be afraid of is, as I've been walking towards you, something that is a little bit deadlier than a gun.
Darcy smiles even more. You've been watching his face. You haven't been watching his body.
She'll give him a glance over. Oh, see, for anyone watching, Aziza is not a fighter at all. Like, she'll fight to protect people, but she doesn't have much in firearms or actual fighting.
Yeah, you'll probably notice something if you actually look at him now.
He's got a fucking knife, doesn't he?
Yep, it just came out of his sleeve earlier. Which one would you like me to put down? The scary gun? Or the
knife. I hate knives. They hurt. Put it away, please.
He just raises his wrist. You see him do a flicking motion. It's gone. Looks over at Darcy.
He looks back at him. And then
She's like rubbing at her collar bone subconsciously as she walks away from him.
Darcy looks over at Aziza and then he says, his probability of actually hurting you with a gun is far less than hurting you with a knife. He's very skilled in those.
If I pull a gun on someone, I'm being very nice. Also, there was not a chance that you could hit me in the first place.
Well, I figured that. You're like the strongest one here.
No, it's because you would be aiming to wound me and you'd miss.
She doesn't say anything, give them a look.
And then Darcy actually smiles, like, really big. And then he just kind of, like, shrugs.
If you're going to aim a gun at someone, aim to kill. Legitimately aim to kill. Believe in your heart you're going to kill them.
And another thing, if you're telling somebody to put away their weapon, don't lower yours first.
Exactly.
Maybe I won't need this. Maybe my main weapon will get me out of any trouble. It's done so better than anything else so far.
If the Alpha were to come here right now, the Alpha of our sept, and then said, Aziza Quietfire needs to be eliminated. Do so now. What would you tell me to get me to stop stabbing you?
Well, you personally, there's nothing I could probably tell you to make you stop stabbing me.
And how many people in the world exist that are like me, do you think?
Not many. You're one of a kind, Zhongli.
That was the wrong answer.
Oh, see, all the naivety. Poor Izzy's gonna die.
Darcy crosses his arms and he looks down and he says, there are plenty of people much stronger than Zhongli. Much stronger than any of us. The thing is, you have to use your wits. Always.
Darcy's smarter than I am. You give him time to plan, he's going to be able to beat me every day. So I never give him time to plan. You need to talk. You're very good at it. So the first thing that most people would do is cut your throat. That's why Lion teaches us how to fight with our fists just as well as he teaches us to fight with our tongues. You need both.
Yeah, she's just listening to Zhongli at the moment. She's still rubbing at her neck and collarbone while listening, though.
Something else? Be ready to kill and deal with the consequences. I remember the name and the face of every single person that I've taken the life of, innocent or otherwise.
Darcy kind of looks down at that.
Do you think you could live with that?
She hands the pistol to Darcy. She takes a seat and goes, I'd like to just watch you two train for a moment.
Darcy?
He smiles and walks over to him.
He actually will take his knife, throw it to his right so it embeds in one of the training dummies, takes the pistol, sorry, not pistol, the SMG, drops the magazine, catches it, then pulls the back slides, sends out the round, reaches out, grabs that, drops the SMG, reloads the round into the mag, and then drops that.
Yeah, what you see Darcy do is as he's like walking towards him, it was very subtle, but he's slowly pulling out a pistol. It's like it doesn't even look like he's pulling it out. It's just like so slow and subtle that without looking very carefully, you wouldn't have noticed it. And then he just kind of looks over at Zhongli.
Zhongli is cracking his shoulders.
He takes this long, soft breath. And then he says, okay, you're gonna.
It's been a while since I've done training with. He cracks his knuckles at this point, one hand, then the other. With these.
Yeah, Darcy is watching him, so I want to like, what is he pulling out?
Nothing. He's cracking his knuckles.
Okay.
Handguns our mercy, fetishes are death. Our claws and teeth are probably the most dangerous thing that we have in our arsenal.
Seeing that he does that, the gun flips down from his finger and he sets it aside. He rolls up his sleeves and gets into a fighting stance.
I had a feeling you weren't going to go easy on me. Never been easy on you. So, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Which form do you think I'm going to take?
He thinks.
Guess right, and you get the first blow.
Aziza
Sorry, you cut out for a second?
What did you say?
Did we lose Aziza? Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Huh,
that
that's
was better.
weird. Hold on. It's fucked up. Let me see. Hello? Hello?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, we hear
Okay.
you.
I said Aziza pulls out a coin, flips it. Once it lands on head, she puts
Okay, no, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, we lost you at puts.
like
And we just now heard like.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
She is flipped a coin and is now watching the match after it lands on heads.
Okay. Darcy then looks like Darcy is not like looking anywhere else from Zhongli, but it's like in his peripheral vision, he's actually looking off to the side too. Like you notice whenever he's in a fighting stance, he looks at the broad scope of things, and then he focuses on Zhongli just for a second and says, "I think you're not going to shift. You're going to try to catch me off guard."
I think I've gone too predictable then. He says, straightening up, and he's taking a stance where he has his palm facing himself, fingers pointed up. His other hand is facing down, palm open.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad guess. You get the first hit. Or at least the attempt.
He smiles. Well done. So what Darcy does is, since he has the first hit, it looks like he lets down his guard. It looks like he does. And he walks up to him calmly. Let's see. I gotta remember, Guardian is -1 diff, right?
Guardian is -1 diff when fighting on the bond, yes.
Okay. Ooh. So Okay. It's not as great as I would have hoped, but it's 3 successes. Basically, what he's doing is um, he's looking like he's going to go in one direction, and then he swings back with a kick to his side.
All right. Zhong Li actually um, takes a evasive maneuver back, seeming like he's going to take a step backwards, and then steps inside and under the kick.
Okay.
He is a limbo champion at this point. So he is going to that. It is a wits plus athletics roll diff 6, usable in all forms. Wits plus athletics roll diff 6, which brings me up to 8 dice. I was looking at the wrong sheet again. I am not in Elwad anymore, so I don't have. And Alice Amari has a better athletic score. Anyways, here we go. That's yes, he successfully evades the blow as he moves in.
Okay.
And then we'll put it on initiative for the second round.
Okay.
Initiative rolling 1d10. And Zhong Li is at a mighty 10. Because I never roll high, and this is the sole reason I buy up Wits Index.
Okay, so that is. Oh, that's 10 as well.
Zhong Li, I think, has the higher dex and wits.
What's his dex?
5.
Yeah, he has a higher dex than wits.
Yep. So he will take. He will then move in, but instead of going for a kick, after he had gone under and back, he comes up and he's just palm striking, Darcy in the chest.
Okay. He's actually going to not. No, he's going to hit. He's going to let him. He's going to.
Well,
Let me see.
unless things have changed, you still have your free avoidance roll.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So he's going to avoid, and he gets that -1 diff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7.
Oh, hi, Lindsay.
Okay. 5 successes to avoid.
5 successes to avoid. All right, it's diff -1 for him to strike because of the thingamajigger taking the wits plus athletics evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Fun maneuver there. And I got 50. No, I'm joking. That would be 5 successes to hit because of the 1. So takes a swing. Darcy barely gets out of the way of the blow.
Mm-hmm. Then Darcy, since he barely gets away, he goes to trip underneath him.
Oh, you're going for a leg sweep.
Yep.
I have not seen anyone try a sweep in like ages. Actually, sweep is diff 8, dex plus brawl.
Okay. Then it will be diff 7.
All right. I'm going to declare an evasive maneuver, so he's going to be using wits plus athletics.
That is 4 successes. Because his precise applies because he's going for a leg sweep.
Mm-hmm. And that would be a fail. Not a botch, but a fail. I'm eating the ones.
Okay, so he trips.
Yep, legs sweep out from underneath him. He will be on his back on the ground.
Okay, and then it's his turn. He can do something on the ground or make a turn to get up.
He's going to rub his eyebrows and then point at the gun next to him, and then motion at Darcy. Actually, like a smile on his face for once, like a broad smile. Darcy, really? You're going to knock your opponent down to where they drop their weapons? Give me a hand up. He says, sticking his hand up.
he laughs and he goes and like offers his hand, pulling him up.
Please put me in a no-win situation for you. Darcy. That wasn't bad, but
He chuckles.
my advice, next time if you're going to go for a leg sweep, knock me backwards first.
He nods and he stretches a little bit. He's like, I guess I haven't been practicing a lot with you anymore.
You're used to opponents who don't come armed and dangerous. He says, picking up his knife and putting it back up his left sleeve this time, and then picking up the Uzi, loading the magazine, and then cocking it to get around into a chamber.
He picks up his gun and then flips it back onto his finger.
It's why I was avoiding knocking you down.
He nods.
Your gun was still loaded, but I don't have to load a knife either.
Still, he thinks for a second. We never did say that we didn't have any other options. And he looks at him and he says, you assumed I wasn't going to use a gift.
No, I didn't assume you weren't going to use a gift. I assumed that you were smart enough not to.
He smiles.
You have 2 gifts, 2 options that I know of that would have easily given you an edge on me.
He does a slight nod.
However, the
You
one
have
thing
many more.
I don't need a gift in this particular instance. Neither do you. There are 30 rounds in this magazine. This is an auto fire. I don't think you can dodge 31 rounds.
He nods. I don't think I could either, actually. He grins, laughing.
This is the particular reason why I haven't bothered training in certain techniques that you have. This is also why I rely on different gifts for different occasions.
You already know my favorite style.
That I do. And you already know that everything I learn comes at you sideways, not from straight on.
He nods. That's why I can't just look at you. Your legs could be coming from any direction. Or your fists.
Or the explosives I set up somewhere, or the bear trap that could be in the middle of the woods.
Or the knives that you laid behind me.
What makes you think that I'm going to start carrying more than one knife?
Used to say it wasn't just the same one that you had. You can discreetly throw it behind me.
I think the Alpha has it. Didn't I say that you had passed all my training?
He does a slight nod.
And you are armed with a pistol that I know exactly how much it hurts.
Thank you again for that.
Keeps my alpha alive, so I'm doing my job.
Aziza, he looks over at her. While it's not absolutely necessary to fight, it's always good to keep it in the back of your mind because anything could happen. You can't always let somebody protect you.
She gives a more Petrova-like smile to Darcy.
And then he smiles at that.
Who says anybody's ever protected me?
I like that.
Some of us just don't like having to kill even if we have.
He nods. I can understand that sentiment. It's part of the reason why I feel like you fit our pack so well. In this pack, I don't really see us as people who go out looking for a fight. We're here to protect.
So, any other rounds of training you want me to partake in, or should we go meet the rest of the pack?
Out of character, I would like to meet the rest of the cat pack, but Johnny's busy, so we can't do that today. We'll have to do that on a later date. I heard Justin is spending time with his husband, and then he has work. I believe the only one that you haven't met is my brother Justin.
We'll see when we see who I've met and who I've not, I mean.
He taps his lip.
Told you she's going to make a good beta.
I see this.
She kind of blushes some, and she's like, that's kind of odd of a position to offer. I mean, you're much better suited to that, Zhongli.
He looks over at Aziza and just smiles very, very softly.
Do you want to tell her, or should I?
It's the path that you follow, so I believe you should tell her.
You're going to be fighting for beta eventually.
She raises an eyebrow.
Darcy grins.
Surprise.
Hooray.
Why would I want to fight for beta?
Be-
We have a perfectly good beta.
because there will be no beta in the position
What
within
did
a few
you
months.
do to Zhongli?
Darcy's like grabs his stomach and laughs.
I was successful.
You're leaving, aren't you?
This pack has no need for me past a certain point, and we have achieved that point.
She'll stand up, she'll walk towards Zhongli, and she'll act like she's gonna hug him.
He's just standing there.
As she hugs him, she will whisper, "The name I will never forget is Christo," and then let him go and walk off towards Darcy.
I told you she was going to make a good beta.
I feel like that's your new phrase now. You'll keep repeating it. He grins, patting Azazel lightly on the back.
Until such time as she either accepts it, has taken the position, or I'm dead. Considering the possibilities here, only one of them is inevitable.
Okay, I'm done letting OOC players break me for a moment there.
Darcy kind of leans in and he smiles at Aziza. And he says, in our pack, we need plenty of Philodox. We actually, there was a person that we were going to petition. But to keep him in line may be a task in and of itself. Still, bringing him into our pack could prove to be a way to shed some light on us.
She puts one hand on both of Darcy's shoulders and pulls him like forehead against his forehead. Darcy, stop beating around the fucking bush.
He's gotten really good at that.
Well,
I'm not going to really judge you. Just say who it is.
The man's name is Xavier. He's in a rune lupus.
What tribe?
Utena. I just said Utena. Gosh.
Sorry, that came after on my end.
And then he squeezes her shoulders, her shoulders, and is looking at her, and he says, "He was the black spiral dancer that refused to convert."
She takes a very deep breath and looks very confused for a moment as if she's debating something in her head. She goes, all right, I'm not going to hit you. You can let go of my arms.
And this is one of the many reasons why I'm leaving the pack.
Is he like you, like all clean and, I guess, made, for a better word, to Darcy?
He just chuckles.
You're leaving me to clean up your mess, aren't you? To Drugly. You
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. He says, his face going back to completely placid after laughing.
You and Troll better have lots and lots of babies.
That is a distinct impossibility.
I'm buying you guys puppies then.
Are they murderous puppies?
You can train them to be. Because I feel like you just handed me a pack of wannabe cubs in adult bodies.
So Darcy looks at her when she says that.
She's grinning when she says it, by the way.
Yeah, no, he knows that she's probably joking, but he looks dead into her eyes and he says, "You may be a part of this pack, but even in joking, don't you insult us."
I wasn't insulting you, Darcy.
May not have been me. But Aziza, we are all strong in our own way.
More to the point, it's a pretty good lesson to learn now. Darcy took a couple of months of abuse from me. But the lesson he picked up was that members of the Sept, beyond just myself, owe him a degree of respect. His rank and position as an alpha of a pack deserves. We're in private right now, but
I wouldn't joke in public.
we're in a very private. Oh, we're in a very public area, however.
And it wasn't meant as as a insult to anyone in the pack. We're all youngish.
The pathway to hell is paved with the best intentions.
I wonder if that's a real place.
We've already talked about Erebus, so they said that that's what looks like hell, apparently.
Yes, but you come out completely clean from it, so wouldn't it be more like a paradise?
He
Told you
chuckles
she was
softly.
good at this.
I did not hear you at all, Matt.
I told you she was good at this.
He's chuckling softly.
No. This is hell, where we are now.
I would like an exit, please. She says it, chuckling.
So you know what Darcy says? And he like holds up the gun. He's like, there's always an exit.
That is not as tempting as you would think right now. If you had asked me last year, maybe.
The more people you remove from the cell, the less like hell it becomes.
She gives Chug Lee a look as if she's actually pondering that and putting it in her memory banks for later. Aziza, future serial killer. Anyway.
But yeah, Darcy just kind of looks at her and he says, but the most thing, or out of character, let me get my words straight. Okay. The biggest thing, Aziza, is that this is a pack of secrets. Or not a pack of secrets, a sept of secrets. People are always watching us. You don't think your family watches you?
There's no way for him to. None are here. If they were, I would smell their wretchedness upon them and rip their throat. I mean, they shouldn't be here. They would never come here with Tolly here.
He smiles.
Quiet over there. Fucking Matt giggling over there.
Still.
Warders.
All I have to say is sometimes you must choose your words carefully.
I know this.
Also, there are many people out there like me, and many of them want to watch this sept very carefully. Warders and guardians are only as good as those who can catch the most deceptive members of society. And as I have been trying to impress upon certain members of the sept, Darcy excluded, no one here has yet to detect my presence unless I want them to. So if they can't tell that I'm coming and going,
They certainly couldn't tell that I was coming and going on to New Accord.
and Darcy's like half as good at this as I mean, no offense, Alpha, but is not your
It's
auspices
not.
role.
He nods.
How do you know they weren't detecting you and they were just choosing to ignore you?
He chuckles. Because I would be dead. Because I stole from them.
Fair point.
And in my particular case, it's because I go places and I hear things I'm not supposed to. Secrets that people are trying to keep that are well above my rank to know. Locations. And after all, it is often considered a challenge if you're stalking them.
Mm.
So one of us right now would be throated for our actions. Darcy's husband would have loved to have done that.
He has a very soft smile.
So my point remains. If they can't tell that he's coming and going, and they certainly can't tell I'm coming and going, then this might as well not be a border. I've been hoping that others would train their senses more sharply, but it seems that more individuals prefer to. He motions around the training field. Well, this.
She'll kind of glance around it.
Have you ever wondered why I walk around set? Just
Be-
walk.
Because you're keeping up the border and making sure no one comes in that's not supposed to.
He makes a very soft smile. That's not exactly true.
Are you
I'm watching the ones who have already come in.
Mm.
And on some days, it's because running after him through the woods would have been exhausting. And I'm fairly certain that he wants to give his beta a break.
He smiles.
So, are you really sure you're ready to leave, Lee?
No, I need to make sure that my replacement is trained to the fullest capabilities that I can, and that I impart upon the future beta a secret that our alpha doesn't have access to.
She looks between them again. That scares me. Oh shit! I thought that was muted. She's like, that scares me a little bit if Darcy as Alpha doesn't know it.
Darcy, how much do you think that I've shared with you compared to how much I actually know?
Probably less than 5%.
Ta-da!
Fucking love Juggly.
And he just looks over at Aziza and he says, "Why tell everybody everything about yourself?"
I'm not saying tell everybody, but I assumed you two were like best friends.
He laughs. He laughs. He's like, and he just looks at her and he says, "We are, but that doesn't mean that that we trust each other completely."
True.
He has every reason that he shouldn't trust me. I kill people. I kill people and I bury the bodies. I then kill the person who helped me bury the body. Because there's already a grave. Makes it easier. Darcy here is privy to a number of secrets of various tribes that he has been a member of. I do not believe some of them are happy with his absconding with that information.
He nods slowly.
We shared secrets with each other. but we don't share every secret.
No one fully knows what I know. And he just kind of like smiles and he like taps his forehead and he says, most of the things that I want to keep locked away are here.
I get that, but like, it's still intimidating if it's something you didn't feel comfortable sharing with Darcy. It might be something I can't handle knowing.
Oh, you'll be able to handle knowing it. It'll give you the ability to. He has a half smile. It'll give you the ability to do exactly what you need to for the pack. Also, I believe Darcy is going to become even more paranoid when he realizes that I've taught you the ability to go unnoticed from his senses. Or was that what I taught her? He says, putting a hand up to his mouth.
And he looks over at Aziza and smiles softly. And he says, if I ever step out of line, it's my beta's duty to kill me.
So we're going to make sure you're more than capable of doing that.
She kind of slowly shakes her head.
Out of character, I gotta go, so
I figured you can go. If Matt wants to talk to me one-on-one and scene before it ends, we can do that real fast and then end it.
okay. So I'll just go ahead and head out. You guys can just chat for a little bit.
I was going to say, if you're hosting the scene, it'll end when you leave.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. This is the scene in SotHW. Good day and bye.